Okay, and we're live. So welcome to the Bachelor Computing course selection session. I see that we have 12, 13, 14-ish attendees. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. My name is Greg Klotz. I am your program counselor. We're using Microsoft Teams Live for this event, which I sometimes struggle with. So sorry if something goes wrong, but hopefully everything will be okay. So today, very quick presentation from me about course selection, but this is mostly here for you. So it's nice to see more attendees coming in. I'm here to answer your questions live, show you how to do things if you need me to show you how to do things, give you some tips and tricks as you need them. So this is all about you, all about how to help you have a good experience with course selection and answer all of your questions. So not a long presentation, so I'll just go and do it. These are basically your required courses. So if you're in computer science or you're software engineering, the two core courses will be the same for both. CIS 1300 Programming, CIS 1910 Discrete Structures 1. The computer science majors will take Math 1200 Calculus. The software engineering students, you take CIS 1250 Software Design 1. And then you're also taking two courses in an anticipated minor or an area of application. So 3 required courses, regardless of which major you're in, plus 2 electives, and these electives are outside of computing for now. And to clarify what's a minor or an area application, this is a graduation requirement for you. So you do have many graduation requirements, including all the core required CIS courses. You'll have CIS electives at the 3rd and 4th year level that are required as well. So you have to have so many, based on your major, so many 3rd and 4th year CIS electives as well. But you're also taking electives outside of CIS. So this minor or area application is there to give you a good foundation or some experience in something outside of computer science and software engineering. It's kind of up to you, again, as long as it's non-computing courses. Minors are 5 credits, so mostly 10 courses. They are listed in the academic calendar. They are also recognized on the transcript. So when you have your transcript and you graduate, you will be graduating with a Bachelor Computing degree. The major will be computer science or software engineering. And then if you complete a minor, then the transcript will also show that you've completed the minor in business or music or whatever you chose. So that's the recommended option. If you can, do a minor. If you look at all the minors and you decide, no, I don't like any of these enough to actually want to do a minor in, they're too restrictive, or you like multiple subjects. So you might like history and creative writing. So you might want to do lots of writing, but you don't want to restrict yourself to creative writing or history. You want to do both history and creative writing. Then the area of application could come in. So the area of application is more flexible than a minor. It's customized. You custom tailor it to your own learning goals. You need at least 8 courses by the time you graduate. 2 of those have to be 3rd year level. So you do have to stick with a subject long enough to get into 3rd year courses. And none of those can be in CIS. So that's what you're thinking about when you're doing the course selection. So you're taking the 3 required courses for sure. Those are clear, no options there unless you're a transfer student or something, you're a special case that you already have maybe a transfer credit. If you're coming straight from high school, no options there. You're taking the 3 required courses. So what you're picking for those when you're doing course selection is which lecture and which lab time works best for your schedule. That's the one you're registering in, but you need to register in all those courses. Registration is not automatic. I assume you just came from the course registration session, so you've seen how to do course selection, all that kind of stuff. So you're adding specific sections that have, for the most part, for these courses, specific times that they're meeting for the lecture and the lab. And then once you've added your 3 required core courses, you're also looking for 2 electives outside of CIS based on your interest, anything from anthropology to zoology, math, statistics, creative writing, music, whatever you like. If it has a minor that you can declare, then you can declare the minor, or you can just start taking courses towards it. And that's basically it for 1st semester fall course selection. I pasted this link in the chat It should be there in the published results. This takes you to the undergraduate program counseling website for the School of Computer Science. I maintain this. I will be keeping this live and up to date throughout course selection to give you tips. As students email me, if I'm noticing lots of questions about something, I'll put it up on the website. Because yeah, course selection can be a busy time for program counselors as well as students. So things do get, this is probably the busiest time of the semester. My email responses tend to be fairly short and to the point. It's not that I'm not caring or don't like you or anything like that. Don't, if I send you like a one-word response, don't take it personally. It's just things are really busy, and I'm trying to help as many students get clarity on course selection as fast as possible. And that's pretty much it for my presentation. So we can keep going back to this as we need to, or I might bring up other websites as we need to. But I'm going to go to the Q&A, and I'm sorry that the Q&A is all text, although I'm not sure how many of you would be super comfortable coming on camera or voice chat right now either, but it's not an option because we're Microsoft Teams Live. So I'm going to go to Q&A. This is a great chance for you to ask questions, and I'll be able to answer them like right now. Whereas if you email me your questions and you're like, I don't know if I should ask this, I'm going to save it. Maybe I'll email Greg tomorrow or later on. That's okay, you can do that, but it might take me 2, 3, 4, or 5 days to respond to your email just because of the volume of email. Like at this point, I feel like I hear from all the 800-900 students who are in computing. So it might take a long time to respond to emails. So if you have first your course selection questions, this is a great time for you to ask because I will answer them all live. Okay, questions. Are we allowed to take electives related to our program? So thank you for posting that question because it gave me some time to think about it. I'm assuming what you're asking there is, can I take computer science CIS electives? Yes, you will be taking CIS electives, but starting mostly in 3rd year. So the first 2 years of both computer science and software engineering are very foundational programming, discrete math, theory, software design courses. So until you have the data structures, the object-oriented programming, both programming 1N, so CIS 1300, CIS 2500, sort of all the beginning foundation CIS courses, you won't have a lot of elective options. Once you're finished all that, once you finish 2nd year, you're strong programmers, you're strong at software development, you're strong at software engineering, you have some theory background, then you start taking electives in computer networks and security and AI and game programming and all that kind of stuff. But initially, early on, you won't be doing very many. There's like 2. There are 2 CIS electives that you could possibly take later on, not in 1st semester, because they're not offered, that you could take if you wanted to. They would not be required. So for now, you're looking for the 3 core courses plus 2 non-CIS electives, but there will be a chance later on to take CIS electives related to your program based on your interest and what you want to learn about as well. Yes. And please ask follow-up questions if you need to too. So I'm gonna publish these as I answer them. Okay, could I get an economics minor with a BCom degree in CS? Yeah, I haven't double checked. Maybe double check the website that I put up into the chat. It lists all the minors. I borrowed that from Bachelor of Commerce. I haven't actually checked, like I haven't memorized all the minors that we have. They're constantly changing. Assuming there is an economics minor that still exists, yes, you can minor in it and you can declare the minor. I have instructions on the website that I linked to on how to declare a minor. You basically submit, you fill out a PDF form. I'm asking you to save it as a JPEG or a picture, just because with PDFs, transferring between Macs and PCs and Macs and all kind of stuff, or Linux, if you have Linux, the fillable PDF loses some of the things that get filled in. So it becomes hard to manage, whereas a picture is just, it's a straight picture, it's not a PDF anymore. So nothing gets lost when transferring between different systems and different softwares. So if you can fill out that form, save it as some kind of a picture, up to you what kind, email it to me and I will submit it. It will take time. So that's a caution. So you can declare minors as long as if they exist and they're available and you're in computer science or software engineering, so you're in the honors program, you can declare a minor. It just takes a little bit of time. So once you submit that form to me, I submit it usually within a day or two to registrarial services, but then the person there who's processing them is getting lots of those as well. So it might take about a week for your minor to get processed, which could impact your course selection. Some courses, some electives are restricted to students with that major and minor. So for example, CIS 1300 is restricted to students in computing and the CIS minor and a couple of other programs. So other students cannot take CIS 1300, and you'll find the same thing, same approach to other programs as well. They will restrict some of their courses to their majors and minors that require it. So you might not be able to select some courses until you declare a minor. And the point I'm getting to at this long-winded discussion is that it might take some time. So in the meantime, take a different elective. So if you added your 3 required courses, now you're adding courses, or you find a really good course, economics. I don't think economics would be restricted. I hope it's not. You find an economics course, you try to add it, you can't, it's restricted. Don't stop there and be like, okay, it's restricted, I'm gonna declare a minor, I'll sit back, I'll wait. 2 weeks later, you get the minor, but not all the courses are full. So if you're adding electives, find the course you like, try to add it. If you can't add it, think about, do I want the minor that requires this course? If you do, and you're committed to it, then fill out the form, submit it to me, but expect about a week before you'll be in the minor. So in the meantime, add a different elective. During course selection, you can add and drop courses. So if you add CIS 1300 section 10, and later on you discover that you don't like that time and there's space open in CIS 1300 section 2, drop the one, add the other, it's changed. Same with electives. If you add economics and then 2 hours later you find zoology and you really like zoology way more, drop economics, add zoology, make the change. Your goal when course selection starts is to add the 5 best courses at the times that you find best for you as soon as possible, and then make changes as you go. That's a really long answer for, can I do an economics minor? Yes, you can. As a course is listed as virtual, does that mean it's guaranteed to remain virtual for the rest of the semester? So if the course is on WebAdvisor as ADS or ADA, so synchronous or asynchronous, yeah, it should. I mean, I can't guarantee these things. They're outside my control, but WebAdvisor is supposed to be accurate, and it would be a significant deal, fairly big deal, if courses were changed, either like their times, the capacities can increase, sometimes decrease, but like lecture times, the rooms might change. So if it's a face-to-face lecture, the room might change based on availability, but the time probably will not, and the format shouldn't either. That being said, we've never had a fall like this before, so it's outside my control, but I would expect if it's virtual, it will stay virtual. Okay, in some of my mandatory courses, like CIS 1300 program, maybe I'll publish these so you can read, because then I won't be able to see them. In some of my mandatory courses, like CIS 1300 programming, it says there's only 3 seats, so I was wondering what that meant. Okay, good question. So I covered that on the website that I linked to. In CIS courses, I do what we call rolling caps. So if you look at the WebAdvisor and the course selection windows, you'll notice that the students who are about to graduate, so the 4th year students with the most credits, their course selection started today. So that's why the 4th year courses had a fair bit of space available on WebAdvisor this morning, so those 4th year students could get into those courses. But at the same time, I don't want all the spaces in whatever the best lab in CIS 1300 is gone and filled up by students who are a bit off track or doing something strange or have a lot of transfer credits to be full and gone by the time the 1st year students get to it. So space gets added to courses gradually as course selection goes on. So as we go from the 4th years to 3rd years, 2nd year, 1st years through courses, the capacities on those courses will continue to increase so that there's space available in all the sections for you when you get to your course selection. So that's why the caps are at 3, that they will increase to be far, far bigger than that. And on that note, this is not a question yet, but don't worry about getting into core courses. Add them first. So for sure, add them first because you need to make your electives work around them as far as scheduling goes. But if it's your first day of course selection and everything looks full and there's nothing available, don't panic, don't stress about it. Email me, let me know that you can't get into CIS 1300, CIS 1910, and I will help you get into it. So right now we're in July. If for whatever reason we admitted more students than we expected or something and the course gets full, then it's on us. We'll make that right and we'll increase the capacity of the course to make sure that the students who need it can get in. That's our responsibility. Your responsibility is to make sure that when course selection opens for you, then you're adding those courses, doing your best to add them and asking for help if you cannot. I have some control over CIS courses, so I will be able to help you with CIS courses, electives or required. Mostly they're the required ones. If it's a non-CIS course like Math 1200, even though it's required for you, I have far less control over that. The math department has control over that. So I don't necessarily know what's going on with space or restrictions or like anything like that for that course. But even in those courses, if you're having trouble, if ever, like during your university time, you're having trouble adding a required course that you need for graduation, I need to know that so I can help you. I hope you're okay with all the really long-winded answers. Can I take level 2000 courses in the first year? What do these levels mean exactly? So 1000 would usually be first year, 2000 second year, 3000 third year, 4000 fourth year, 6000 would be a graduate course for master's and PhD students. It mostly means level of difficulty. So there are some courses you could take in first year that are 2000 level. The most obvious one is Stat 2040, statistics. It's a required course for computing students, but it's a level of difficulty thing. So Stat 2040, even though it doesn't have any prerequisites beyond what you already have from high school, it's still a challenging course. So it's designed to be taken in second year or third year because you sort of want to have made the adjustment to university before you get into it. Can you take it? Yes, you could. It's a level of difficulty thing, so the course will be more challenging than a 1000 level course. A few of the business courses for first year seem to be restricted in some way. So what are some business courses that I can take for an anticipated area of application or minor? Yeah, the elective courses seem to be more and more restricted, especially early on at the university, because departments are scared of running out of space for their majors who need them, including computing, right? So CIS 1300 is restricted for that reason, because we want to make sure that all of you can get into the courses. So it's we try to be safe when we're restricting courses, but at the same time, we also want to be as inclusive as possible and make sure all the students who are interested in the courses can get in, which is why CIS minor students can take CIS 1300. For the business courses, they often are restricted. Business is very big. It's a very big program with lots of students. Their margin of safety of will the course get full, will the students who need this course to graduate be able to get in or not, is fairly tight. So initially, there'll be lots of restrictions. Those restrictions will hopefully be coming off soon. If you don't want to wait, declare a minor. So take a look at the business minors. They're on the program counseling website in the link, and declare one. That's the tried and true method. The other approach could be looking for the distance education, the DE versions of the courses, because sometimes for business, the face-to-face or in this case, possibly virtual lectures might be restricted to the Bachelor of Commerce major students who need it for their degree. But then a distance ed one might be more open to students who are doing it for a minor or just based on interest. So try the DE, and if not, and if you're thinking business, you will pretty much need to declare a minor. That's just how it is. Like an area of application in business is theoretically possible, but in order to get access to the course and in order to be able to add the courses, you will pretty much need to declare a minor if you're interested in taking a lot of business courses. What are some tips to choosing minor and general electives, particularly for CS students? you might need to come back to that. Can you be more specific? Tips are, and this is just my opinion at this point, right? So take it with a grain of salt. Tips are, don't do a math or stats minor just because you notice that you're taking 3 math courses anyways, so you might as well because you only need 7 more courses. It's not a good way to choose a minor. Choose a minor that you are genuinely interested in, that you think you'll have fun in, that you think it'll be reasonably easy or doable for you. So there'll be some semesters where you're taking really hard CIS courses, a lot of them, like 3, 4, and you want an elective there that you can take a break from programming, take a break from the discrete structures and the theory from, just get away from computing and do something more fun. And it's up to you what that is. If it's music, great. If it's anthropology, great. If it's creative writing, great. Zoology, statistics, business, economics, whatever you like. But ideally, it would be something that you kind of enjoy, that you'll be able to do and have fun with alongside of your major, and sort of take a break from your major. But don't look at it as a minimizing problem where, okay, I already took, like, I'm already taking 3 math and stats courses. I might as well do a math minor. It's fine. Like, a math minor is great. It's a fairly popular minor for computing students, but it's also a really hard minor. 3rd and 4th year math courses get fairly serious. So if you like math and you enjoy that kind of seriousness, then great, do it. But if you don't, that's completely fine. And then pick the electives that you do like. For the less restrictive subjects, you could try taking them. You can try taking some of those 1st year courses without declaring the minor. But unfortunately, right now, the restrictions the way they are, for many of them, you probably will need to declare the minor. So fill out that form and then email it to me. But do your best in the meantime while you're waiting for that form to get processed to add different electives that you're reasonably happy with. When are computing counselors available during the summer? All summer, except when I'm on vacation. So you can send email all summer long. The university doesn't shut down. Program counseling doesn't shut down. So yeah, no, this is a regular semester. There are less courses happening right now, but there are courses happening right now in the summer as well. So outside of vacation, I am available. But again, keep in mind, this is like the busiest 3 weeks of my year. So answers to emails will be a little bit delayed. Do you recommend looking at 4 courses in order to choose your first, second, and do you recommend looking at year 4 courses in order to choose your first, second, and third year courses? Okay, good question. So planning really far ahead, that's great. Possibly. You don't have a lot of choice early on. So as far as CIS goes, you're going to be sticking with the schedule of studies, taking those courses as prescribed. There's no flexibility. You'll need to take the fall courses as scheduled. They're not offered in the winter. Then you'll be taking the winter courses as scheduled. They're not offered in the fall or summer. Then the fall courses for 2nd year, and then the winter courses for 2nd year. Beyond that, you start taking electives, and at that point, yes, you're going to want to start looking at, okay, there's this really fun course in 4th year that I want to take. What electives do I need to take to get into it? Because most of the prerequisites will be the core courses that you're required to take. You'll be taking those courses because they're required. You have no choice. Like, you'll be taking those courses. But then some courses might require, like, computer network, CIS 3210. So then you plan to take CIS 3210 as a 3rd year elective in 3rd year, so that you can take that other fun elective in the 4th year. And there's a nice new course planning tool that lets you do that. So it's brand new. I have very little experience with it so far because it only got released like a month or so ago. But there is a tool on WebAdvisor that lets you plan out your entire degree if you want, so you can play with that. And it will give you warnings and cautions about prerequisites and those kinds of errors. So yeah, by all means, plan out your 4-year if you'd like, especially if you choose a minor, you have your major. Yeah, you'd be able to pick up, like, sort of pre-plan most of your courses. At the same time, add lots of flexibility into that schedule. Don't sort of plan out like these are the 5 courses for every semester. It's perfect. And it's perfect, like it's just perfect, it's great. Because it might not work out. So 4 years, 5 with co-op is a fairly long time. Courses get deleted, courses get added, courses get changed. Sometimes there will be conflicts. It's impossible to prevent all conflicts between all courses at the university. There are hundreds, there's too many. So sometimes you might find that a required CIS course for you is conflicting with a required elective course for you. And then you might have to find an alternate elective for your minor, or something might happen. So build some flexibility into it as well. So each semester, like sort of plan, like these are the 5 courses I really, really want to take, but I'm also okay taking these 3, 4, 5 other ones that I'm going to put into my schedule as like backup plans. And this is the same strategy for this fall too. So go into it with a plan of like, okay, I'm going to add these courses, but if that elective is restricted, then that's okay. I'm going to try these other ones, and hopefully they're not restricted. What's the website to select the minors for Bachelor Computing? If you go in, I don't know how you see this, but in the Q&A, so at the top, sort of middle rightish, there's a little bubble with the question mark in it for Q&A. So in the Q&A, I made the announcement at 2:39, so that's the link. Is it possible to take the software design course as a computer science student? Unfortunately, it is not. Number of years ago, the decision was made to keep software engineering fairly small. It's designed to be a very interactive, collaborative, team-based course, and that doesn't work when the course gets too big. So software engineering courses like software design 1 all the way through 5 are purposefully kept fairly small so that students can get the sort of small teamwork-based discussion, interactive experience. So it is restricted to software design students only. So CS students cannot take it as an elective. How many CS courses will be online for the fall semester? Some. So they're all up on WebAdvisor. WebAdvisor shows you, so if it's face-to-face, it will have a classroom. If it doesn't have a classroom, then it will say ADS, so alternative delivery synchronous, which means online synchronous, so live. Hopefully nicer live than this, hopefully more interactive. I taught a course live on Teams and it worked really well because it was more interactive, because all of us were there sort of together. It wasn't a live event where you're the audience and I'm talking to you. We were all participants and we could all turn on webcams and audio and talk and look at each other. So online can work well. And the other option would be ADA, so alternative delivery asynchronous. That would mean, or that would suggest, that the course will not have any live content. The professor is planning to put up notes or pre-recorded lectures and that kind of stuff. So that one will not have it, that will not even show a time. So what I expect on WebAdvisor, if it has a time, it will either have a classroom, then it's face-to-face, and the goal is that something live is going to happen in that classroom at that time with your professor. Or it will have a time and it will say ADS, so it'll be online at that time in some format. And it should be live, so maybe like a live lecture by the professor or live Q&A with the professor. Or ADA, which probably won't have a time, and it's asynchronous, and the professor will post, I don't know, if it's a 3-hour lectures a week kind of course, 3 hours of lectures a week, pre-recorded with maybe some discussion forums and that kind of stuff. This is great. Thank you for asking all these questions, because I was worried coming in here that I would have nothing to talk about. What courses should I take if I want to do a minor in business? Click on the link in the Q&A, find the business minor you want, because there's many different flavors of the business minor now. And it will show you what the required courses are for that minor. And it will also show you what the restricted electives are for the minor. So that's the nice thing about the minors. The minors are designed by the departments who know that subject really well, as saying, these core courses here will give somebody a good grounding in this area. So for example, the CIS minor that we have for students who are in Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Commerce, they're basically taking the first 2 years of computer science as the minor, and it gives them a good foundation in programming with some theory. You'll find the same thing for the other minors as well. So economics, zoology, anthropology, the pre-selected courses that those departments have defined as part of the minor are the core, most important courses for students interested in that subject from the department's perspective. So I take those 3 mandatory courses, and then the 2 other courses I can choose based on what I enjoy. Yes. With the goal of hopefully like doing a minor, if you want something like an officially recognized credential when you graduate, or at least an area of application so that you can graduate. Because just like, to be super clear, you need the minimum, the 8 courses outside of CIS2 at the 3000 level in order to graduate. But yes, they should be something that you enjoy. If we want to switch from computer science to software engineering, how would that impact our course selection? It doesn't, because you can't make that switch right now. So if you're in computer science, you are in computer science for the fall. If you're in software engineering, you are in software engineering for the fall. If you'd like to switch, you can apply. We can talk about that like way later, like October, November, springtime. You'll be applying next summer, and then your request will go through admissions, and then if it's approved, then next year, so fall 22, you would change majors into the other program. So for now, you are in what you were admitted to and accepted. What's the website to select the minors for Bachelor Computing? It's in the Q&A. If you can't see it in the Q&A, email me. My auto response will send you the link. In the first semester, do the electives matter as much for our minors, or is it better to experiment, try out courses? It's up to you and how focused you are. Like if you already have a sense that you want to do, I don't know, business economics, and you're like, this is what you want to do. You know this already for sure. You like it. You took a bunch of economics courses in high school. You enjoyed it. You want to do business econ. Then take business econ and focus on that. If you're not sure about your minor subjects and you want to try things, that's completely fine as well. So some fun things will be first year seminars, UNIV 1200. First year seminars are really small, like 12 to 18, 20 students in the course total, put on by a professor who's interested in that subject, kind of like for fun, like as a fun thing for them to do. It's a very small class with lots of discussion and lots of participation. There's a whole bunch of different options for first year seminars, and you can only take them in the first year. So you get one first year seminar, I think, and you can choose to take one either fall or winter, or you can choose not to take one. It's not a requirement. So if you're thinking about a first year seminar, take a look at UNIV 1200, check to see if there's any subjects. Getting into them is challenging because there's only 20 spots per course. So it's almost like a lottery to get into one of them. But if you find one you like and it has spots, by all means grab it, keeping in mind you can only take one in first year and you can only do one. So that would be something fun to try. Or if you're not sure what your minor is, or you like a couple of different things, that would also be completely fine. Try a couple of different courses. You have lots of flexibility in your degree. With your core CIS courses, you're looking at about 12 credits out of 20. Plus the minor, which is 5, so we're looking at about 17, and I'm saying about because it depends on your major, whether it's CS or software engineering. So you have like 5 or 6 free, like take whatever interests you courses randomly. So it's not like this, like you're committed and you can't change and you took this course and now it's a waste. No, it's not a waste. You learned something from it. It was fun. It still counts towards your degree. It's still an academic credit. It's completely fine to try out different subjects in first year and see what you like, as long as you can get into the courses, which can be the challenging part. Will all the courses that we will take in first semester based on beginning level? So I'm guessing you're asking like if you have to have a background. No, you don't have to have a background in programming or computer science. They will all start from the beginning, from the ground up. So if you've never programmed before, that's okay-ish. If you've never programmed before, it's going to feel kind of fast at the beginning. But yes, the intro programming courses like CS 1300 will start from the beginning, from scratch, and help you to learn how to start programming. Do we need to take electives out of computing too? When I was looking over the electives, there were 19 for software engineering, but most of them weren't for first year and made the choices limited. Not in first semester. So right now we're focusing on first semester fall course selection. You do not need to take CIS electives. You don't have any CIS electives that you could possibly take even. So you're looking for electives outside of computing. Can we do a double degree? Okay, now we're getting fancy. How many more? Okay, I just want to make sure we have time for all the questions. Can we do a double degree? Theoretically, yes. It wouldn't be a double degree. What you would do is, for example, it's super rare. See, like I'm kind of blanking on it. But let's say you do a Bachelor Computing Computer Science degree with a minor in biology. And then after 4 years, you graduate. You could apply for admission to biology. If you're admitted, then you'd be a BSc student in biology. You'd have a whole bunch of transfer credits, and you'd keep going until you meet the requirements for the biology BSc degree, and then you'd have a second degree. So you can get as many degrees as you want. It will take a lot of time. If the question is, can I do a double major? Then the answer is no, because we only have 2 majors within computing, computer science, and software engineering. They are too similar. They're very, very similar. They're not dissimilar enough to be double majors. So double major is not possible. A double degree, like a second degree, is possible, but it will take minimum 6 years without co-op. Can we declare a minor? Is it possible to do that in first year? Yeah, you can declare a minor now if you like. Follow the link or email me, and I'll send you the information on how to declare one. Can I take a minor in psychology and economics? So those would be separate minors. So you'd want to choose one or the other. Psychology would be completely fine minor, and economics would be completely fine minor. For now, I would suggest choosing one. Double minors are theoretically possible. Again, super rare, and again would extend graduation possibly by like a year. Like when students are looking at double minors, a second degree sort of starts becoming a more attractive option if you're looking to spend that much time at university and undergrad. For co-op, are our work terms at different companies? So if work term 1 is the summer of year 2, different than the work term 2 in the fall of year 3. That's more of a question for the co-op coordinators. But yeah, if you're in co-op, co-op will support you and guide you through the job search process, but they will not assign you to a job. They will not find a job for you. So you're applying for the jobs that you're interested in working at, or the companies that you're interested in working for. And yeah, they can be different and often are. Sometimes they're the same. If you find the company that you like and they like you and you want to work with them the entire time that you're in co-op, you could do that. But usually students will have work terms at different companies, but they're jobs that you're finding yourself. So this is a very self-directed process. Are double minors possible? Yes, there it is. Again, yeah, theoretically, yes. Realistically, it will add at least an extra semester, probably like realistically 2. So looking at an extra year to graduate. So I don't like to start with that. Having a major and a minor in first semester is a really good start. If after that you're like, yeah, no, I wanted to do a double minor, we can talk about that. I would ask you to plan it out and show me how you will actually take all those courses, and the challenges will be getting all the courses with the right prerequisites, and then hoping that none of the courses conflict in the schedule, because often courses will conflict in the schedule on the time. What languages are used in CS courses? Just curious. So CS 1300, unless it's changed, I would expect it to be C programming on Linux. As a student with a disability, is it possible to still do a reduced course load and do co-op? How will this impact my progress to graduation? Okay, good question. Part of it is a co-op question, so you're gonna have to double check this with co-op, please. But yes, co-op and the university do help students in all kinds of situations, whether you have a permanent disability or not. So anytime you want to sort of deviate from the published path, I think everybody will help you and support you through that as much as possible. How will this impact progress to graduation? It's sort of like if you're taking less than 5 courses per semester, which is completely fine academically, you don't need to have a disability. It doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. Any student at the University of Guelph can study at their own pace. If they're taking 1 course a semester, 5 courses a semester, it doesn't matter. That's the student's choice. It will extend graduation. So the 4 years, 5 years with co-op to graduate assumes the students are taking 5 courses per semester. If you're taking, let's say, 4, that will extend graduation by about a year. If you're taking 3, then you might be looking at maybe taking some summer courses to catch up on just missing credits. And again, it would probably delay graduation a little bit, but that could be okay. So all students at the university can study at their own pace. It's sort of up to you how many courses you're taking per semester. Taking less than 5 does extend graduation, but I assume you're okay with that. How does it affect co-op? Co-op would probably make an exception for you if you asked. Which language of programming will be covered? When do most people declare the minors, and what is the latest that you would say that you should declare your minor? Students declare their minors mostly if they need to, because they can't get into the courses that they want without declaring the minor. So some of them are declaring it like right now in the summer. The latest you should declare it is before you apply to graduate in the 4th year, so that you actually graduate with the minor. Usually like 1st or 2nd year, you want to declare a minor if you want one. And it's nice too, because then the course planner tool comes in and it will show you what you need to be taking for the minor. I didn't get co-op. Can I apply again before 2nd year? Yes. So if you are not in co-op now and you want to be in co-op, yes, you submit an online form to co-op by email. If you're not sure where that is, don't do it now because it's not urgent. Co-op will not even look at those until next summer. But like August, October, November, February, sometime, email me about it. Not during the next 2 weeks, and I will send you the form so that you can submit it and apply for co-op. It's a free application, and co-op will look at those applications and review them next summer. But you do need to apply before the end of the winter term. Last question. Do I only have 4 required co-op terms, and if so, can I pick 5? Yeah, so 5 is the recommended number of co-op terms, assuming everything goes fine. 4 is sort of the minimum. With the pandemic, that's been somewhat flexible. But yeah, theoretically, if everything goes well, you will complete at least 4 co-op work terms if you're in co-op. And if things are going like normal according to plan, then you will actually have 5. The first summer is sort of optional because some students are still getting used to the job search at that point. So if you can't find, this is again, co-op discussion, staying out of it. 4 required, yes, usually 5, some flexibility there as you need it. That would be a discussion with co-op. Is there any course related to cybersecurity and computer security? Yes, but in 4th year. So those will be 4th year CIS electives. So start planning for those now if you'd like, so that you can take the required prerequisites. But yeah, there are 4th year electives that you'll be taking in 4th year. And then we also have the master's in cybersecurity and threat intelligence, but that's a grad course that you would do after you graduate. Whew. Thanks very much for coming and sticking with me, all of you who are still here. And thank you for asking questions, because coming into this, I was thinking if you're not going to ask questions, then we won't have anything to talk about. But you asked really good questions. Hopefully all the answers helped. If you have any more questions, I don't know how much more time do we have. When does this end? 2:45? 3:45? I don't know. Oh yeah, we have time. 3 3:45. So yeah, no, thank you very much for coming. We still have about 10 minutes. So for those of you who are still here, if you have any questions that weren't answered, if you would like clarifications, if you'd like me to show you something, by all means, I'll hang out for like 1 more minute. If there's no more questions, then we'll just end though. Thanks a lot for coming. This is one of those things that is way more fun live. So doing this in a classroom that's more interactive, where I can show you things on the screen and see all of you face to face. Yeah, I think we all miss that. We'll get there. But in the meantime, like at least for computing, for the most part, the technology is working fairly well. So like I said, I taught 2 online classes virtually. There was no option. The classes were virtual, and they worked okay. Should I create side projects while in the summer or use Moodle? I wouldn't be too committed to using Moodle, but side projects would be great. Yeah. So if you're in co-op, the co-op coordinators will be talking with you a lot about side projects. You probably won't necessarily do them initially. So you'll probably go through first year, maybe even second year before you start doing side projects. But after that, yeah, you'll have the programming experience, you'll have the interest. You'll be like, oh, I want to do this cool thing. Like I want to do a web that can help me find RTX 3080s. So I can buy an RTX 3080. Then yeah, you'll start making you'll start doing side projects just for fun that you find useful, and then that will be helpful when looking for jobs, because you'll be able to show 1, motivation, 2, you'll be able to show programming that's unique to you. It's not like an assignment that you did for a course or something else. Like you sort of planned it out from beginning to end. You had the idea, you planned it out, you implemented it, it works, you can show it off. It's a really helpful way to get a job in co-op or not. Is there going to be a recording of the session afterwards? I have no idea, because I don't know. I was told possibly, but I don't know. Bye. Well, thanks for coming. Whoever said that, I'm still here because there's still questions. Okay, we're back to 13. So for the 13 students who are still here, any other, you can ask whatever computing, University of Guelph, anything sort of university related questions. Okay, could you re-explain the difference between a minor and an area of application? I'm having some difficulties understanding the difference between the two. Sure. And let me post the website back in the chat, because it's probably lost by now. So there's the website. If you scroll down to the minors and area applications near the bottom, it lists all the available minors. If you click on them, it shows you what courses are required for that minor. So you can get a sense of whether you like those courses or not. It'll also show you what courses you need to start with to take that minor. Minors are 5 credits, so usually 10 courses. And they're official. They go on your transcript. So when you graduate, you will have an officially recognized credential. One example I can think of is like Teachers College maybe sometimes would want somebody to have like a specialization in something, and a minor would qualify as a specialization in that something. The area of application is more informal. It's not officially declared on the transcript or anything, but if you want to customize it, then you can. So that would give you the chance to customize like you want to do biology and music, because you like biology and music. There's no biology music minor. You can't do biology music minor, but you can do the area of application by taking biology and music courses, as long as you get 8 of them total, 2 of them 3,000, so 3rd year level. When is the last day to register for courses? That's a scary question a little bit, but it will be it's usually the last Friday of the first week of classes. So early September will be the last day to change your courses. But I'm going to rephrase that question as change your courses, because you want to register for your courses as soon as your course selection window opens. So whatever that is for you based on your transfer credits or no transfer credits, as soon as course selection opens for you, it's opening for thousands of other students as well. All those courses are getting full. So as soon as course selection opens, do your best to add 5 courses that you're reasonably happy with, including the required ones, and then change those courses as you like throughout course selections for the rest of the summer and the beginning of September. And that's why course selection is open in September as well. So if you go to your first lecture in September and you don't like the course, it's not what you thought it would be, then yeah, look for a different course and you can add and drop the course then as well, as long as it has space. But please register for courses as soon as your registration starts, and then make changes. You have the entire summer to play with it afterwards, but make sure you get into something. Your internet went down at the start of the session. Is everything that I need to know on the website that you linked? The core things are yes, and if you need help, email me. Like I said at the beginning, it might take me a couple of days to respond, but this is what I do at this time. I'm happy to do it. It's fun. It's a bit of a rush. So if there's something on that website that you have a question that's not answered on the website, email me. And if it's like something that other students have as well, then I'll put it on the website. What are the laptops you would suggest for this program? We don't recommend. Whatever you're happy with. No, yeah, I'm staying out of that. That just again becomes like personal opinion. You might as well just go to Reddit and ask like, what kind of laptop should I buy? Whatever works for you. You will be using Linux in some way. But like your laptop will just like remotely log in to the school servers, and you'll use Linux that way. You don't have to have Linux running on your computer. Eventually, you might want to. But when you're doing programming courses in CIS, there's usually going to be a lab component to that, and will provide the lab that you'll remotely connect to, or if it's face-to-face, you'll be in the computer labs on the computers that are remotely connecting to the server. What priority access? Can you tell me what are priority access courses? Can I choose them as electives? Priority access courses are courses where the department is concerned that the course will not have enough space in it for the students who require it to make progress in their major or minor. So they would restrict it to students who have the major and minor that actually requires that course in order to make progress towards graduation. And it's hard to tell like what the restrictions are. So if you see priority access course, try to add it. Don't worry about making mistakes on WebAdvisor. Like, try to add a course. Worst thing that will happen is it won't let you add it, and it will tell you why not. And then you add a different course. But a priority access course will likely have some kind of a restriction on it that only lets certain students who are required to take that course add the course at the time that the restriction is on. But WebAdvisor will tell you. So if you're adding the courses, WebAdvisor will tell you why you can't add it if you can't add it. I haven't received my A-levels final grades yet. When can I apply for transfer credits? That's an admission question, so I'm not even touching that. Email or contact admissions for that, please, because I don't do that in any way. Like, I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I don't even know what A-levels are. My focus is like from when you get admitted to when you graduate. What happens outside of that, I don't know. Nine attendees. Like 5 minutes left if you want them. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this whole time. I can't see you, I can't hear you, but it's nice to know that you're there. And I really appreciate all the interaction. I appreciate the questions. Oh, okay, and I'm being told that it records automatically, so there will be a recording, so that's good. What advice do you have for someone who is new to coding? Have fun with it. Like, uh, I'm not sure. There will be one. Don't be intimidated. There are many students in CIS 1300 who have never programmed before. Two, expect that it's going to be challenging at times, especially early on. Programming it takes, like most things, it takes practice. It might feel really, really hard and challenging at first. It might seem impossible at first. But if you like it and you stick to it, it gets easier and easier and easier and easier as you go. So I guess my advice that the professor Ritu Chaturvedi would have probably better advice because she teaches that course. She's been teaching this course for a couple of years. But my random advice is don't be intimidated, have fun, and be persistent with it. Don't expect it to be easy at first. It gets easier as you do it. A-level is 12th grade based on Cambridge International Examinations Board. Okay, cool. Yeah, still admissions. Thank you so much for answering. Thank you for coming. Great questions. It helps me to do my job too. Helps me to focus on what you need to know. Helps you to make a better website. Helps you to answer questions better through email. So I appreciate all of you coming and asking questions. Can we transfer the credits after the courses have been selected? Please clarify that one. So also, can we transfer the credits after the courses have been selected? So if you're adding courses now, like next week, you'll be able to drop and add different ones, or you'll be able to drop and add different sections. So we talked about like switching like lab times, for example, for CIS 1910 or CIS 1300. You can do that during summer. Course sections will still be open, but I don't understand the credit part. Can we transfer the credits? Oh, I see. Hold on. This is going back to the A-level thing. See? Yeah. I don't know. It's an admissions thing. So if that's a follow-up to the A-level thing, then yeah, admissions will probably want like your fully completed high school transcripts and stuff. And yes, I have occasionally seen students get credits for A-levels after course selection has been done, which gets messy. So this is more like a one-on-one discussion with the anonymous person that's asking that. But if you already know that your A-level is like calculus and it's going to transfer as Math 1200, then maybe don't take Math 1200 as a first semester course, because you're going to get that transfer credit. Like if you're sure that you have that course, it counts as Math 1200, you're going to get the credit, it's just going to take processing time, then choose a different elective. So if it's that specific. But yes, I have seen transfer credits get processed after course selection ends, like in October, November. Usually not. So like if you finish the A-levels, you have the grades and everything else, get your documentation, get your docs to admissions as soon as you can so that it can process those in time. Cool, 1 minute, 7 attendees. Thanks for sticking it out the whole time. It's really nice that you're here. Like it gets boring otherwise. So this is a busy time with course selection and I get hundreds of emails a day, but it's a bit of a rush and it's fun. And I appreciate that you're here and you're asking the questions because that's what you're here for, right? So you're here to learn and ask questions. So this is a good start because you want to be asking questions. Okay, it's 3:45. Thank you again very much for attending, asking all your questions. This was fun. If you have any more questions, You have the website, it has my email address on it, or just go to the School of Computer Science website, find me, email me, and I'm going to try to help. Thanks, bye.